Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forged Lines Forever. Today, I have a 4v4 ladder match here on the map Corona. So we're going to head and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team Red here in the north, also known as Team 1, ending with Blue Team, also known as Team 2 in the south. Starting off with the westernmost player of Team 1, it is the Light Oak Tam player of Soul Ripper Noob, going first land as a UEF. And he is almost a 1400. To his east in orange, the color orange, we have the player of L to the Aeon, not playing Aeon. He's playing another UEF, going first land. And he is a little bit higher ranking than Soul Ripper, but pretty close to a 1400 rating as well. And to his east in Ruby Red, another UEF and another UEF player. So all of Team 1 is UEF. We have Baller going first land in Ruby Red. He is exactly a 1600. And last but not least, going second there as well. And last but not least for Team 1, it is Chaos Noob going first land as the fourth and final player going UEF. And on Team 1, he is 1 point above a 1300 rating. And again, he is in Chevy Crimson. So for Team 1 side of things, they are all UEF. That's it. Very simple, easy. If you see UEF, it's Team 1. I'll go ahead down in the south, starting off with the easternmost player on Team 2. It is the Borgmo going first land as a Cybran, first different faction of the game. He is in Tropical Ocean Blue, and he is 1117, one number off of Spartan 117, John's tag in Halo. To his west in Amethyst Purple, we have OCA going first land, second land as well as an Aeon, and he is almost a 1700 going Amethyst Purple. And to his west in Stitch Blue, we have Orb going first land, second air as a second Cybran for his team, and he is almost a 2000 rated player, the highest rated player in the game and on Team 2. And, of course, the last but not least for Team 2, we have Kahuna Tuna going first land and second air. Love to say that name for some reason. It just rolls off the tongue, Kahuna Tuna. He is a little bit over a 900 rating. And, again, he is an Aeon in Royal Blue. So, for Team 2 side of things, we have 2 Cybran and 2 Aeon. No Seraphim in this game at all for either team. Apologies to those that love using those Awasha Bombers. And, of course, there is no UEF on Team 2. Let's go ahead and take a look at the reclaim here so far on the map. We have almost 20,000 mass for 8 players, so 2,500 mass per player. If it was evenly distributed, that is a lot of mass to scoop up. And we have a decent amount of mass points, not really any high value targets in terms of, quad mexes or tri-mex positions. They're all singles. They're all, they're not seeing anybody. They're not dating anybody, that sort of thing. It's going to be a lot of just one-offs, but some of them are kind of congregated together. We can kind of maybe say these are pretty close, especially if you take the upper plateau position right here. You can easily cover this with a couple of T2PD on the ridge. But besides that, it's not going to be very... every time you take out a forward operating base or whatnot, it's really going to be one mass point. It's not really going to be worth a whole lot. It's going to be more about getting those T3 mechs upgrades, getting the RASCOMs, getting the mass FAF farms online. It's going to be more about that in this game. This game is slightly under an hour, so plenty of time for our players to ramp up their ecos here in this game. And currently, no one has broken 100 in terms of both teams. Of course, we're only not even 4 minutes in this game, and neither player has lost any units as of yet. We do have the farthest forward position here on the western side for Team 2. That is going to be Orb. And he's going to push heavily against the Soul Ripper Noob comb of 1400. So a little bit out of the price range, you might say, between the two ratings. But Team 1 might manage here. They are, more of the average versus the outliers here in this game. But the calm on calm action has occurred in the middle between OCA and Baller. We do have L to the Aeon moving into assist, trying to cut off any reinforcements. A couple of units are trying to cover that calm of OCA, but he is vastly outnumbered in terms of firepower. OCA does go for the reclaim instead of for the kill here, trying to diminish Team 2's expansions. We do see some assistance coming out from both Orb and from Kahuna Tuna. So Team 2 recognizing the threat in the middle. There's a lot of mass to scoop. Well, it's not a whole... That's a decent amount of mass. It's not a lot of mass. There's a lot of mass everywhere, to be fair. But there's no one point of the map is the most important to have. kind of thing. But we do have a gun upgrade started pretty far forward here for OCA, given that there are 2 comms nearby. T1 PDs are being built to secure the reclaim as well as secure a position here in the middle of the map for his team. We do see a couple of units coming in from the east here for Borg Mo. I always want to say Borg RNO because that's what the the R and the N look like a M together kind of thing. But anyway, we have L to the Aeon again has established that T1 PD. We do see OCA building that first gun upgrade for the range. We'll give him a slight advantage. Might want to sit just barely out of range going for that PD. And El to Leon does know about it. Doesn't really need to finish off those wall sections. But at this point, a lot of units have been built for OCA, and he's going for gun speed as well. So while using the range going after that PD, he's going for a gun upgrade. Very risky play, but he is being assisted by Kahuna. So it isn't a huge risk, but it is a risk nonetheless. In the east, we have another comm-on-comm action. We have Chaos versus Borg in the east, and it is a UEF versus Cyber, and UEF have the better hit point totals versus the Cyber comms. But of course, with support from both teams, or both comms' units, kind of even out a little bit. The strikers are going after the other units, while Borg is just hammering Chaos constantly. So Chaos more focused on veterancy, and Borg more focused on taking out hit points on the comm. We'll see how that transpires. It's a more back and forth. It does look like Borg has started to be surrounded here. Chaos at 6,000 and Borg at 8,000. That number is going to drop not super severely very quickly, but more and more strikers are coming onto the field, and that will force Borg back eventually. He's going to stay a little bit longer, though. And it does look like Team 1 has kind of broken up this middle section of the map. They don't want to try to hold it for too long. There are multiple avenues to attack that middle, and so they're kind of cognizant of not being super overrun. Units incoming here for Baller to assist taking out Borg, or at least push him back even further. Strikers need to keep moving forward. They can't stop and fire. You can say they push right here and then they sit. These units could help assist Chaos with forcing him back even more. But he is doing a pretty good job going after the other units first, then the comm. He wants that extra veterancy. He wants that extra hit points and whatnot. And he's really close. He's at 800, about to cross the 900 threshold, almost to 1,000. And so pretty soon that comm will be upgraded. The gun upgrade was canceled, and he immediately retreats, starting to notice the threat of the Actually, that is the wrong team. Notice the incoming threat of those units, and that radar very well positioned, allowing him to see actually a lot on the map. It is a 10 by 10. I always get confused sometimes when I'm like, oh, I zoom all the way out, and it's not really a big map, and then realize, oh, it's a 10 by 10 and not a 20 by 20. That would make sense. So essentially a T2 radar will cover almost the entire map in this game, if positioned correctly. Well, I think it might cover almost the entire map, to be fair. No, it'd be close. It'd be close. A couple of air scouts over the top here for Team 1's layer of Soul Ripper. The rear guard air slot is actually no one's going T2 air. Very interesting here on Team 1's strategy. They're focusing a lot more on land, while Team 2 is going, at least one person's going air. So Team 2 will have that advantage for the moment if Team 1 does not decide to go into that sooner. That gun upgrade is progressing quite nicely. It's almost about to cross the looks like 80% threshold. I can't see the percentage or whatever because it's not popping up on my screen for some reason, which I hate when that happens. It's very annoying. OC is going to get some nice damage onto that comm. The comm is going to immediately retreat. It is the right hand, so that should be the Zephamp upgrade, I would assume. He's dropping hit points pretty quickly, though, sub 7,000, but he is being pushed a little bit. At least OC is being pushed back by a couple of Team 1 units. That gun does finish. It was the Zephamp, and units coming in from Chaos will actually fall back and try to encircle OCA's comm. Maybe that was on purpose, maybe it was not, but they will take it the nice tactical advantage that they currently have. PD being established on the ridge line. The triad needs to be a little bit closer, but it does look like OCA is being surrounded. Baller is losing hit points fast, sub 1,500 and almost sub 1,000 here. A couple more shots and that comm is dead at this point. Might want to go for the trade, but OCA is out of range now. Baller was at almost 700 hit points, and PD are opening up, and that comm is down, and Baller gets out of range just barely, and it is now a 4v3 in favor of Team 2. But on the west, Ove is being pushed, as being the pusher, forcing Soul Ripper back, so there might be a trade on the cards here pretty soon. Orb does have the gun and is focusing the comm directly. He doesn't care about the infrastructure. And all the units will start to focus the comm as well. He's moving westward. There's no escape from that section of the map. And so if he goes that way, he is DED. The only thing that will save him is a transport, and there's no T2 air, so that means no T2 transport. And Orb is going to chase him down and kill him, essentially. That is the worst position to be in, unfortunately. There's nothing that there can be done. He will die here pretty soon, unless he somehow skates by somehow, but I highly doubt it. It does look like Orb is going to seal him off in the south, and this is just going to be a death waiting to happen at this point. T1 PD looks like it should be established at some point to help force that comeback, but I don't know. Units trying to come in and assist here from L to the Aeon as well, but I don't know about that. T1 Bombers on station trying to diminish that incoming force against the comm of Soul Ripper, but he has T2 PD capabilities. He has T2 Engineering Suite on that commander, so he spent a couple of seconds. He could get a couple of PD online, but I don't know. At 56 mass income, he has the highest mass income on his team. He's going to go straight to the corner of the map. There is a transport inbound. T2 transport has been built. This is going to be not super close. If there are interceptors nearby, which they are, there's a couple of T1 inties. If he can just get to the plateau, that's all he needs to get to. A couple of inties do cover the comms exit. Transport. Oh, transport doesn't pick him up. Oh, the transport goes down because of the overcharge into the transport. And the comm. Oh, that's going to hurt. Soul Ripper is DED. He's going to do the best he can. Is there another transport inbound? Yes, there is. Will he get out of there? Sub 6,000 hit points and dropping very quickly. Do not move near that army. And you have to get out of range of that comm. He's going to drop once again. Pings go down. He's trying to get on board. Does he get on board? Yes, he does. No, you got to get out of there. There he goes. Ooh, that was almost a failed transport. Oh, I zoomed out way too quick. He drops immediately. Good move on there. Doesn't want to stay in the air too long. That was a hot Exfil if I've ever seen one. The first transport went down. That T2 air facility was built very quickly, and then he immediately went, I need that transport, and I need it now, and he came in and rescued himself. There was some assistance from his teammate of L to the Ion covering him in the air. There are a couple of spy planes now kind of getting some nice intel gathering operations up there to the north, which means Team 2 has access to T3 air at 12 minutes. Team 1 does not. And it doesn't look like any upgrades for T3 are on the cards as of yet, so Team 2 has the advantage in the air for now. You better use it while you have it, because sooner than later you're going to lose it. A couple of PD are being established kind of as a defensive perimeter for at least the middle and some of the eastern side here for Team 1. Team 2 kind of just taking it slow, except for Orb. He pushed severely northwind, and of course Team 2 lost OCA in the east. Stealth on the way here for Borg Mo's comm. He has gun already. He'll probably go for Nano next. Chaos Noob probably should go for Nano, or at least Shield, or something at this point. He needs to get those hit points back quicker than, quicker than he's getting them now. But a column of T2 pillars with assisting T1 forces are moving straight through the middle. A bunch of units are moving into intercept here for Orb. And at this point, the best thing to probably do, if Team 1 is paying attention, is going to go east. He's going to go straight east. And at this point, I know he wants to get those T2 mechs down, but there are obsidians nearby, and there are more reinforcements coming all the time. Blazes mixed in with some rhinos, mixed in with some obsidian, so it's a nice Cybern and Aeon force here. Pillars open up fire, but it does look like those pillars are going to go down very quickly. A couple of T2 mechs will go down, and unfortunately most of that force will be taken up before it could do damaging things back here. I felt like maybe he should have gone down here, but yeah, it's kind of hard to tell at some points where you should really go and where you should not go, depending on intel and whatever the situation may be. But T3 Strap Bomber is going after Team 1's main base. It takes out the hydrocarbon and a couple of T1 engineers. Actually, I think it maybe got an engineer or two. They're building a shield to protect those P-gens. The bomber should be somewhere. There's that shield now protecting those vital P-gens. I don't know why he didn't go after the T2 P-gens. And that shield, because it's now built, will survive at least 2 bombs, and then obviously a third will diminish the not the engineering, but the power reserves on that thing. But there's a couple of T1 inties on approach trying to take out that T3 bomber. A couple of transports are running around up there, and there is an ASF nearby to deal with most of those inties. Nice attack run coming into those. This thing is almost dead, and there it goes. Essentially takes out a hydrocarbon, and that's it. I wouldn't say that's really worth it at this point, unfortunately, here for Team 2. They do still have a slight advantage. They did build another T3 strap bomber, but I feel like the advantage is slowly being diminished, especially with more and more T1, T2 PD being built to take care of that thing. But a push in the east is occurring between Chaos Noob and Borg Mo. And Borg is being pushed back by those pillars here. It does have a lot of AA, and those things can fire on ground units, but very, very inaccurate. So not really, not worth it wouldn't be the word I would use, but you know, a more let down range is better in some cases, but in some cases it's better to have more precision. T2 PDs are now probably going to line the eastern approach as well. And it does look like there is a force moving in to intercept that comm as we speak. More PDs being built as well, so multiple. Actually, that's an AA. Excuse me. We have Triads and AA being built at the same time. Love to see that covering himself in the ground game and in the air game. Very, very smart move here. Missiles being launched on the position here for Soul Ripper. He's back over here in the west, established his position once again. Strap Bomber coming in. Is he going to drop on that shield? No, he's not going to drop on that shield. And so missiles are raining in all the time. Those buzzkills are doing the best they can. Interceptor's going to catch up to that. Shocker, is it going to be enough? No, the Shocker will stay online. There are a couple more interceptors trying to chase that thing down, but there are interceptors nearby to deal with those inties as well. We're talking 16 minutes in this game. Team 1 has 300 mass per second. Team 2 has almost 300 mass. So Team 1 leading just slightly over Builder Master Crude, a little bit over 2K. So it's about a Monkey Lord. Not a terrible amount, but also not super bad. But losing another Strap Bomber, 1100 mass, is definitely not what Team 2 should probably do. And there's another one here as well. Lots of mass for Team 1 to scoop up, especially on this northwestern side. Eastern side as well, but it's more T1, T2 units. And they are being covered by some shield. Well, was going to be covered by shields, but Triads are firing on this position. And Cerberus as well. So engineers won't be able to get there, but units probably will. Another Strap Bomber is built. I feel like Strap Bombers have kind of worn out their welcome, at least in 1s and 2s at this point. You know, Team 1 is aware of the strategy. Team 1 has now prepared for the strategy. We, you know, AA placements. We have T3 air, T2 air. This one could go T3, but probably will stay T2 for now until Soul Ripper Noob feels like it's really worth it. But flies over a couple of AA emplacements. The sheep not really going after anything in particular. Wants to take out the engineers, it looks like. But now they're building T3 SAM sites, T3 AA. So, again, the whole Strap Bomber thing not really going to work out here. Just due to the fact that Team 1 has been aware of it for some time now. But it does look like some artillery is getting through and has forced Soul Ripper back. We see some T3 trebuchets back here. Forcing back the comm of Soul Ripper. Here comes that Strap Bomber once again. It's taking a significant amount of damage. Unfortunately, it might get the engineer, but that's really about it. It's well, I don't know where this thing is going. It's going here to the east. This position not really heavily fortified. Now it's changed the target. Once again, going to go for those T2 PDs right here. Drops that bomb. Takes out a couple of defenses there. Going to fly right into a SAM site. And it flies into another one as well. Actually, that was T1. But anyways, that bomber has now been killed once again. They'll drop an 1100 mass or so every time one dies. So probably should change up the strategy just a little bit. It's still going for him. Still building strap bombers every 6 ASFs, which isn't a bad ratio, but it's not working. You shouldn't keep doing it, essentially. We have a nice push here, again, from the west by Orb. He's, you know, trying to push Soul Ripper back, claim the entire western edge of the map, and then move eastward. Very smart move, trying to solidify one battle, not battle side, but one flank and then moving eastward. That's the word I want to use. We have Titans going up against T1 units. Very good use of units here by Soul Ripper, building PD back here as well. Very much digging into those weaker units, and then if he notices, he could push up with the Titans and take out the trebuchets. The trebuchets will fall back due to the fact that most of the units have now been taken out. Would have loved to see some pillars. Would love to see some other types of units. Even just some of those Wagners, just one of those cheap amphibious tanks, something, or cheaper tanks, just to kind of fight off some of those Titans. But if the Titans don't move, they'll just die to missile fire, so there's that as well. But there's now a brick on station and another one as well. Those trebuchets are moving up. I feel like at this point you throw the Titans forward, take out the trebuchets, and call it a day, especially because those bricks can really take a punishing 7,500 hit points versus the combined, what is that, 3,100? Yeah, 3,100. But the trebuchets are now being taken out. It looks like one of the bricks has fallen, but most of those Titans are down. Another Titan is coming in, and it does look like trebuchets are going to be the main target. Love to see that. Take out the long-range artillery and focus on the closer range unit or closer ranged capable units later on. Closing in on 20 minutes in this game. Please, if you've been enjoying the cast so far, please like and comment down below. Who do you think is going to currently win? And just to remind you again, in terms of mass, Team 2 is now winning just slightly, but essentially it's about 400 mass per team. Team 1 has 4 players left. Team 2 has 3 players left. Orb is on 2 bases, which is the highest rated player in the game. He just finished Nano, and he has pushed the furthest northward against his opponent. So again, keep that in mind as you make your predictions in your head or in the comment section. And of course, hit that like button and sub to the channel if you haven't done so already. And again, thank you so much for those that do sub to the channel after I say something. I really greatly appreciate it. Trying to hit 1,000 before January. I would love to hit it before January, but I think it's roughly going to hit it in the middle of February. So I'm very, very lucky to have all of the support from everyone. Thank you so much. For those who have stuck with me for a long time, I greatly appreciate the support as well. I just want people to play. I want people to play this game. I want people to love this game. I want this game to get bigger. It won't get COD big. It won't get Fortnite big, but at least growing the community is essentially the main purpose, at least of this series of channel, this series on this channel, is to grow the audience of FAF, grow the interest in FAF, grow FAF in general. And obviously I have my journey to 1,000 to improve my own skills in the game, which will hopefully improve my casting as well. Kind of a double-edged, not a double-edged sword, but a kind of a double-dipping scenario here. But anyway, back to the game. We have Soul Ripper, again, being forced back. He's essentially in his main base, has a couple of outlying T2 mexes and such, but that is it. He has nothing else. I would have loved to see something established up here to the ridge line and forcing those ground units to go all the way around, but didn't establish it soon enough. Kind of similar to what LD Aeon did in the middle. Unfortunately, this position doesn't do a whole lot. It only really focuses on this kind of attack, not range, but what is that called? Degree. There's a word for it where like you have a certain vector, a certain amount of your view that you can attack effectively from. I know there's a word for it. Forget what the word for it is. I'll think of it later at some point. Or somebody will remind me down in the comments. I love it when people remind me about stuff. I really, really do, and I encourage it as well. We have a quantum gateway starting to be established for Soul River at 22 minutes. He needs his eco. He's not really getting any more mexes, so he needs to get it somewhere else, and Rascoms are definitely the way to do it. But his main base is being bombarded as we speak. We have some Percys charging forth, but those trebuchets are being guarded by some bricks. And on a one-on-one fight, I think the Percy has it in a 1v1 fight, but the amount of bricks that are here, it doesn't even matter. Even if the numbers were, maybe not 1-to-1, but pretty close to 1v1, I'd still bet on the bricks here, considering the assisting forces as well. Percy's Titans are trying to take out some smaller units, but they're just being wrecked by the rapid-fire guns of those bricks. They are brick wall for a reason. We have some bouncers covering in the anti-air game as well. Again, Team 1 not really getting that much success on this eastern side against Chaos Noob against Borg Mo. He's kind of just hanging out down here, and that's allowed Team 2 to build up a lot of infrastructure. Not really worry about the eastern side as much as Team 1 has to worry about the western side, which changes up your strategy as the time goes on, especially when the map starts to look like this and you're losing 10, if not 15% of map control, and mass control, depending on how you look at the mass point scenario. But there are some triads in the base. There's a couple of AA emplacements as well. But with those bricks, I mean, at this point, you might as well just start establishing some Ravagers up on this hill, on this cliffside, and just call it a day. Build some shields and whatnot, and just force this back. Clink hammers would also be a good idea here, trying to get that long-range artillery. Fight the trebuchets that are just pummeling this base constantly. There's only a couple of them instead of the 8 or so he had earlier. So it's not as bad, but it still could be managed. The shield commanders are actually being built here by Soul Ripper, not Rascoms. Very interesting. They do produce 1 mass, so it's better than nothing. But the amount of mass it costs to build, of course, or gate in a Rascom or any type of SAC is definitely a huge investment. But that shield does look like it's just going to be thrown at the opponent. And that thing has 52,000 shield and 16,000 health. So 68,000 hit points on one shield ACU is heavy. Doesn't have a lot of firepower. It does have a lot of hit points, which is very similar to the brick, except you can see the damage that it does. It only does 300 per shot, and it's already dropped 12,000 hit points on the shield, and it's dropping very quickly. It actually has inferior range as well, so isn't as good as a Rambo comm. What he needs to build is Rambo comms, is really what he needs to build. Does look like there's a little bit of progress, but not that much. Kind of quiet, essentially, on the eastern front here in the southeast side of the map. Does look like Team 1's L to the Islands doing very similar things with the gating in of some sort of commander. Looks like that is... What is that symbol? Is that anti-air? I don't know what that is. When he pops out, I'll go look at him. Go A, RAS's OCA. I heard an explosion in the distance. That was the RAS comm. I hate that sound. I always think it's a comm. I have the same sentiment that Guile has. I want that to be a different sound. I understand why it's a similar sound. Just have it be a different sound. It always gives me anxiety when I hear that sound. I mean, I knew that SACU would die eventually, but still. Lots of ASFs are being built in the rear guard here for Baller, but Team 2 looks like they have the better air force as well. Team 2 doing a lot better on the map game, in terms of the map percentage, how much they own of it. They're severely limiting the offensive capabilities of Soul Ripper. He's just building a very turtley base here. Has a Ravager online. That shield is going to fall here shortly. Needs to assist it to keep his base online. And I do love the fact that this structure is just barely tilted. For those that have OCD or whatnot, that would... I mean, that also drives me nuts. I don't have OCD. I have OCD tendencies, but not necessarily OCD been, like, diagnosed with it. But finally, Team 2's Orb has finally decided to go to the west and clear this position out. Some Dryads were built, but against, 6 or 7 bricks, not really anything to worry about. In the middle of the map, we have a nice tactical missile launcher. It has 5-star veteran seats, killed 11,000 mass just with that one missile launcher. That's very, very impressive here. Especially this late in the game, you would think that would have done a better job. And actually, gets grabbed by that volcano. I thought it was going to be, being able to swing that around, but the volcano grabbed it just barely. That was, I wouldn't say lucky, but that was very close. We have another missile going here in the east. Taking out the radar would be nice, especially the T2. We can see the T2 range. I think that is orbs, not kahunas. So essentially about half the map. I know it's a little bit over that, but it's pretty much a little bit over. So it's about half the map. It's not bad. Does look like it does get taken out as well. Love to see that, trying to blind your opponent. Very, very smart here. T2 radar very far forward here for Team 1, but it does look like Soul Ripper with the vacation that the bricks are taking on this plateau. This central position has been dealt with, and now he's building combatants or Rambo preset commanders, 16,000 hit points. That's what they are. Those are Rambos. That's what those that symbol is. It's a Rambo. Now he's going for RAS. But anyway, that thing is just going to charge forward. There's really no, firepower or anything to deal with this thing. Going to wrap up 20 hit points a second and just churn through all those engineers. Or if you got to send something on the front line, you've dropped back your bouncers, but you need something more to defend against that one lonely Rambo comm, and there's now another one coming in as well. Oh no, so this is a Rambo comm. This is a combatant comm. Looks like the only difference is one's a shield and one's not a shield. Yeah, that's it. Interesting. Huh. I guess this one is cheaper, to be fair. We do have an SMD being built back here. It does kind of indicate game and tactics here, at least at this point. Starting to think about it here at 30 minutes in this game. Lots of facilities, I guess, were either scrapped or taken out. Looks like scrapped. And that missile launcher still can't bypass that volcano. Another RASCOM does die to a... Sorry, not RASCOM. SACU dies to a Monkey Lord. So Team 1 will be aware of that very apparently. SMD says OCA. Is there a nuke launcher that's been built and I haven't been paying attention? No. Don't know why he can't. I mean, it's good to build SMD, of course, but why the need? As long as you're running intel operations, you'll know about the, you hope you know about the incoming nuke if there is one. But a couple of Percys will retreat in the face of this experimental Monkey Lord. We have those bricks here on that ridgeline as well, but there is I think this is the actual Rambo. Yeah, this is the actual Rambo. And it's not really churning through the hit points on those bricks that you think they would be. I do like the secondary gun on top. I don't know. I think that's the shield emitter, I would feel like. Yeah, I think that's the shield. No, is that a secondary gun? What is that up there? I don't know what. Anyway, I think that is the shield emitter. Anyway, got to turn all the right things on. That monkey lord is going to chase down that Rambo comm. It's going after one of them. Should have just been thrown at the base. There's not really a lot to defend against that monkey lord. That's definitely a missed opportunity here for Orb. I know you want to kill the Rambo. I get that. But you could have killed the comm at least. Well, at least the base for the comm minimum. But it does look like the Star Lifter trying to do the same thing it did with his comm and get out of dodge. But that Rambo comm is going to hide underneath. Oh, it's going to land here. It's going to force the Rambo comm out, and unfortunately does not make it out. Definitely unfortunate there. And one of the transports does get taken out anyways. So it wouldn't have really worked out, but it would have been a cool move trying to duplicate it, but it didn't really work out. Combatant comms are being built here by the teammate for L to the Aeon trying to guard again the western side. Team 2 hasn't really had to worry about that as of yet, so a lot more investment is going into the north, or the northwest at least. We do see a separate SMD built very far forward here for Orb. There is one way back here for Kahuna as well, so it's covering his base as well as the frontline base. So there's a secondary SMD and another experimental's built a megalith. More missiles are inbound. Actually, that was artillery, not missiles. Does take out that T2 mechs in the middle. In terms of mass generation per second, Team 1 again in the lead at almost 900. Team 2 slightly behind, but not very far behind. Kind of a nice little rat race going on back and forth. A couple of gunships to the east being protected by a nice horde of ASFs. That horde will be able to take out those ASFs against Team 2 very quickly. It does look like these broadswords will be kind of left alone here for now, going after T2 mechs. Like to see them take out the AA guns, but there's only T1, so it's not that bad. And more gunships are coming in. Team 2 needs some assistance in this air game. Needs some AA, needs some flag, need literally anything and everything is better than nothing. OCA says anti-air. Yes, anti-air, very important. Flak is being built by a bunch of engineers, but unfortunately will take out maybe a couple of gunships, but not a whole lot of them. I heard another explosion to the west. It was a monkey lord. These don't land these. Don't. Oh no. What is this? 1, 2, 3. Oh no. 4. Oh, 5 broadswords died to a laser from a monkey lord. That's gotta hurt. But again, at the same time, we have broadswords taking out the main base, Eco for Borgmo, and they're going actually back here against Orb as well. They're T3. There's a lot of flak being built up here because, you know, it's easier to build that. It's cheaper than T3 AA. We have ASFs constantly streaming in from Team 2's air player. Team 1's baller trying to lock him out of air, which has done a pretty good job, but they're constantly producing more and more ASFs. So it's really hard to keep them locked out. But a lot of AA protecting that monkey lord, and now Crab in the middle. Team 1 needs a response to this. They need some high power weaponry. And of course, that Ravagers aren't. Oh, let's see if they hit. It does look like they kind of can hit that monkey lord, but it's gonna. The angle of opportunity is not really gonna work out. Those broadswords were taken out. Unfortunately, did do a nice number against Team 2's Eastern Eco, but you know, he's producing 48 generated roughly, so not really a whole lot of mass. So he's kind of knocked out for now. Does have forces on the ground, can still be annoying, but all of those ASFs have been just eaten by those anti-air emplacements. But this monkey lord is going to take the brunt of that incoming firepower from that fire base. Lots of Ravagers, and unfortunately those Ravagers can hit that megalith. The megalith just sitting there trying to just take out those Ravagers. That comm needs to move. Shields are being built trying to protecting those Ravagers, but it's not really going to work out. That comm is being, you know, targeted directly, and he knows it. He's just going to get out of dodge. Where is he going? He's going to try to overcharge, and there he goes. He is dead. Strap bomber over the top, taking out some of those hit points, but gets taken out immediately. More broadswords are brought forth, and Team 2 has scored their first kill here at 33 minutes in this game. I don't know why he charged in. Maybe he just was kind of done with the game. I don't know. But there are some RAS-coms being thrown at this monkey lord and Crab. We also are, of course, we see them dealing with the AA. Love to see that. Of course, you want to take out the monkey lord and Crab But if you don't have anything to fight with because of the AA in the area, that's the better move, of course. Team 1 has no sort of good, 1v1 experimentals. Fat Boys are their land experimental, and that is it. We do have a drop inbound here from Team 1's Chaos Noob. A nice squad of Percys and more coming in all the time. I love that rally point. I'm assuming it's a rally point. No, it's just a move. Those Percys need to move in sooner rather than later. It does look like they've killed the Monkey Lord, so a lot of mass to scoop up. But there goes a P-Gen. It has collapsed. It's exploded. Lots of AA trying to take out these broadswords. This Megalith has gained another veterancy, so more hit points, and it's turned around to deal with those Percys. Percys just churning through those hit points. Bricks trying to do what they can to deal with the incoming bricks. Oh, and the bricks are stacking up, which makes it easier for the Megalith to take them out, but it does look like the Megalith is down. There is a second one inbound, though, so Team 1 needs to get their head on straight. They need to deal with this sooner rather than later. They can see that. They know it's inbound. We have more and more stuff being built back here. More Rambo comms are being gated in as fast as possible, and more Ravagers are being built. Team 1, Soul Ripper, trying to churn up as much as he can in the airplane, doing as much as he can as well. But just a lot of AA for Orb, really diminishing the ability for them to keep air long-term on that Megalith. And that Megalith isn't charging forward. It does look like maybe Team 2 wants to grab that mass, which I don't blame them. There's 8,000 mass for the monkey, 18,000 mass for the crab, and the crab kind of having some targeting priority issues with that hillside there. But he has crested the hill, taking out T2 Mexes, C2 Pete Mexes, T2 Power, and is he missing? He is missing that. I was like, what's going on there? He's just barely missing that. Ravagers need to open up and take out this crab sooner rather than later. They're not. There they go. They're launching their first volley. Rambo comms need to be just thrown at the enemy at this point. You can't save them. You need to throw them and deal with this incoming threat. More and more anti-air is protecting this Megalith. This thing is very dangerous here for Team 1. They don't really have a lot, and Team 2 is forcing it down. Well, Orb essentially is forcing it down their throats. Another couple experimentals are built, a crab and a monkey, and another one being built as we speak. So Team 2 is going to just drown them in mass, kill them with kindness, but in this terms, it is kill them with mass. More Ravagers in the west. We have Soul Ripper back here, trying to do what he can to survive. This Megalith has dropped to the red, but he'll get another veterancy here pretty soon, so he'll drop back. He'll actually rise back into the yellow. Team 1, what else are you doing back here? More RAS comms, more mass, more stuff like that. You need defenses. You need stuff online. Building a bunch of air forces is a good idea, but with so much AA inbound, takes out a group of T1 units. Should have taken out those bouncers, but, whatnot. Anyway, that was not the best targeting priority, I guess, on that strap bomber. Team 1 is still alive, though. They've taken a huge hit, though, through the middle. And now in the east, we have a push from Borgmo with his forces that were sitting there for a while. Tries to go after Chaos Noob. He's dropped into the yellow, sub 76, 7,700. Yeah, it's a Rascom. Gosh dang it. Stop blowing up. Dang it. But that crab is still sitting there. It's about 24,000 hit points left. Those bricks are coming in, dealing with those T3 Mexes. I don't know why this isn't going to kill that. They've got a lot of veterancy points. I don't know why he's not going after that. Soul Ripper Noob essentially doesn't have anything left on the cards. Those Ravagers that he still has online to the west are barely out of range. They can't target that incoming crab. Lots of T2 Stingers are going to be used. They're cheaper. They don't last very long against that T3 Air Forces. Not for Air Force and ground forces for those bouncers, but something's better than nothing. They took out one brick, and then the second brick dies, and the third brick will pretty much die. Those Ravagers are constantly being built. They need to target the crab. The crab is essentially now, it should be in range by now. Let's see. Yep, it is in range. Those Ravagers need to open up onto that crab for that base to survive. It's ripping through those hit points as fast as it can. Another volley comes in. Takes out another chunk of hit points. That crab's going to try to turn around, but it won't really matter. Almost 4,000 hit points. Oh, one more churning. Oh, will it be enough? Nope, sub 2,000. Oh, that thing is almost dead. One strap bomber would take it out. That has got to hurt, but a Monkey Lord is inbound, and those hit points are going to fly off that experimental. There they go in the yellow. Sub half of those hit points, and now we have another volley inbound. That thing is dead. Now the crab... it's just trying to stay barely out of range. That Monkey Lord was essentially a mass dump here for Team 1, but another Monkey Lord is inbound as well. Team 1 under constant threat in the middle, and that is starting to suffer. We do have a crab approach in the west, but it does look like a nice fire base has been established, trying to use that ridge line. The crab is just tall enough to be able to deal with... Oh, actually, it turns around, so no. I don't know why that's turning around, but anyway, we have a couple of T2 units. Pillars just throw anything and everything, you know, even the kitchen sink, even the farm sink. You know, we know how important those are, but the wave of T2 Stingers inbound, it's going to kill that crab with kindness. When this turn mass, there it goes. It's dead. It's going to target the Monkey Lord. No, it's going to target the AA. Very good move there. You'll lose a lot of your broadswords, but not broadswords, your stingers, but at least you'll take out the AA. Very good move here by Team 1's baller. Team 2, how are you doing? Do you have any plans on ending the game? Another Monkey Lord has been built. I don't see any artillery rafts being built. Nothing. Another crab. I don't see any sort of game enders, any sort of artillery, nukes. Something like that would essentially end Team 1. We have the comm being transported from the front line, and those stingers are just churning through those hit points. Not as quickly as the Ravagers, but still. A lot of mass for Team 1 and Team 2 to scoop up. How much do we have currently on the field? We have almost 200,000 mass at 40 minutes in this game. That is a lot of mass on the field. Monkey Lord being, again, just ripped to shreds by those stingers. They're stinging him pretty hard. This is my dad joke for the day, or at least for right now. Soul Ripper just got his soul ripped in half. The space that was L to the Aeon is gone. He doesn't have any infrastructure left from that. He has 2 Megaliths now to deal with. The Monkey Lord is now dealt with, but again, Team 1 has another issue. It's another couple of crabs. They need some sort of, defensive line, some sort of something. They're going to build a Fat Boy, which they should have built like 10 minutes ago, but anyway, that's besides the point. There was one built in the east, though, so that's kind of nice for Team 1. Are you building... No, you're not. Every time I see a Monkey Lord, I'm like, you should be building something on its back. Whether it's AA, whether it's shields, whether it's just build something on its back. Because you have it, so why not? Those stingers are trying to do what they can. Now they're getting their bigger brother, the broadswords, coming in to assist with that massive gun that they have on board. The Fat Boy, I guess, is spotted. Yep, it gets spotted and gets immediately destroyed. ASF's trying to cover those broadswords and stingers. So much AA in the area, it's just really making it difficult for Team 1 to keep some sort of long-term anti-experimental threat or plan dealt with. But that crab is going to chase down that Fat Boy. Fat Boy trying to trundle its way into that shield grid. Oh, it's going to drop its shield pretty soon. Oh, there's 3,000 hit points. There's 6,000. There's 9,000. There's 12,000. And there it is. Pretty close to the shield, but it is killed off. The comm is nearby. Chaos Noob almost repped up to full health. Megalith at 41,000. We have the Megalith here at 107,000. We have now Strap Bombers gracing Team 1's presence, and a bunch of Titans were built to deal with this. Love to see those being able to take out those ground units. Very, very smart move. Instead of building Percy's, they built faster moving units. It does look like Soul Ripper has been able to establish some sort of exclusion zone in the west, but I mean, these crabs are just walking in Team 1's base. They do not care. This one has been killed off. This one is, barely felt any sort of injury. There's a new one essentially coming on to the front line, and they are just churning those out. More and more going to be built. That is the plan of attack for Orb. Kill them with mass. We do have a donut in the back here for Team 2. And we have another monkey being built for Team 2's player as well. We do have a couple of units getting into these outlying reaches of the map here for Team 1, but that monkey did go a little bit too far forward. The ASF are trying to deal with this on Team 2 side of things, but you keep throwing a couple of ASFs in once in a while. They don't want a buildup of gunships to be built or any sort of defenses, but it just makes it difficult, which is why they're doing a lot of bouncers, and I think there's some Redeemers in there somewhere. At least you would think there'd be Redeemers with an Aeon player. There was Redeemers are really good too, but they're all bouncers. So another Fat Boy's being built. That's going to take a minute or a couple of minutes. More Ravagers are being built. Team 1 needs to defend. They need to get this mass under control. They need to scoop up that mass before Team 2 can get to it. Team 2 is scooping up mass and actually putting down a bunch of SAM sites, essentially forcing Team 1 to stay in this corner. Once they force them into a corner, they can just sit there and eco. They can sit there and do whatever they want and then throw like a donut or throw whatever else at them, and Team 1 can't do anything about it. So Gotta, they gotta have some end goal here for Team 2. Team 1 has to have an end goal too, but their goal right now is just survive, which they've done a decent job at doing. But now that you have another 2 crabs to deal with, the stingers cannot land. There you go. You need to get them off the ground. There you go. Don't want them dying to another laser here like the broadswords did earlier on. Titans securing the area, trying to scoop up that mass with guarding those engineers. Stingers just going to open up. Not all of them are firing, though. You need some back here and maybe target the second crab to kind of assist with that. But we see more and more AA. More and more AA. Constantly, whether it's static or not, being built by anything and everything down south. We do see some Titans coming in to deal with that, but there's another crab nearby. So, Team 1 gets a nice little break, and then all those Titans are dead. And then they have to redo all, it's the same vicious cycle. Those stingers are going to be swept up very quickly by that Air Force. Team 1, again, still hemmed into this corner. They haven't been able to get out. They have made a little bit more progress to the west, but not by a long shot. They need to get back here. They do know about this. Or at least they should be able to know about it at this point. Team 2 doesn't really... they know everything essentially at this point. They don't know every single little structure, but they pretty much know everything. There is a Duke that's almost half done. They don't know about that. At least... No, they don't know about that. So that's something that Team 1 has, but I don't know. With all this crab, nonsense, essentially at some point, Team 2 is just going to go, well, we can just dump a bunch of mass on them and call it good. We do see a nuke has just been finished by Team 2's Kahuna Tuna as well, and another donut's going to be established. Neither player really has air dominance. It's more just throw whatever you have at the opponent at the time and then call it good. They don't have a lot, so they got to watch out for that because... there's not a lot of AA in this as well. So if you want to lose, not lose, but throw that donut, now would be the time. Because the longer you wait, I'm talking about Team 2, the longer they wait, the harder it will be to punch through those shields and punch through that front line. So, the cornered rat and all of that. The cornered rat or cornered cat? I think it's a cornered rat. Does look like this donut, this Czar will just go for this position. There's really nothing here, so that's going to die very quickly. Fat Boy trying to get in range of those crabs. Now we have 3 crabs and a Monkey Lord versus 1 Fat Boy. We do have a Donut Czar nearby anyway, so that's not going to survive for long. If Team 1 doesn't know about the Donut, they know about it now. They're positioning their ASFs to deal with it. But now the crab has gotten pretty close to that Fat Boy. Unfortunately, this Fat Boy did not fall back, and that thing is going to die once again, unfortunately, here. The second Fat Boy to die in this game, or at least the one that was built. That's got to hurt. That's a lot of mass that went into building that. There is a nice opening here in the east for all these Titans, but, we have 3 crabs and a monkey, so that's, again, the biggest threat. We do have another Fat Boy online here for Team 1, but the monkey's going to come forth and deal with all of the engineers. A lot of the mass has been scooped up, obviously, besides the Fat Boy, but it's not going well for Team 2 in terms of mass scoopage. We have 265 for Team 1 and 153. And a lot of that mass has been generated by Team 2. Or the reclaim. We do have a couple of units being dealt with by the Donut. The Team 1's got to have a plan of attacking with that, but the crabs, are they just going to full send it? They might. Oh, no, they're going to split up. You could just send all the crabs in. Yeah, you might not kill everything, but essentially at this point, if you take out the air base, if you take out a lot of the defenses, a couple more waves of experimentals, that's it. Team 1 doesn't really have a lot of room for error. They need to hold every single thing that they have, but it's going to take them a monumentous more amount of time to recover that thing that they lost. It's essentially for this, in terms of this game, Team 2 is kind of laid back, relaxing, having a good time, and Team 1 is playing a survival game. It's like they need to do something about this. They are building a Duke, of course, which will help, but Team 2 has shielded the air grid for the most part, as well as most of the everything as well, so that it won't do as much. The donut falling is very good for Team 1, but Team 2 does now have air control as well. So, again, a whole trade situation going on. Bunch of Rambo comes trying to dodge that crab fire. One does end up dying the way of the dodo, and it's just throwing all this mass at your opponent is a good idea if you can keep it or deal a lot of damage with it. Monkey Lord does evade death for a couple more seconds to get another veteran seat, but that is it. 1 monkey is down. 3 crabs are still alive. This one will die here pretty soon, just to that 1 Fat Boy. And it should die right about now. There it goes. And in the west, there's still 2 crabs. One of them severely wounded. One of them a little over half health. And there's a... No, it's not. I thought that was another monkey. That is a Continental. But that Duke is now online. Team 2, do you know about it? Team 2 does not know about it. That's going to be a nice surprise. But again, with the shields online, it's not going to do an initial amount of damage. This nuke is being loaded. Does Team 1 have SMD? No. And yes. So... I feel like the main target would be Soul Ripper at this point, and then go after the main base. That would be the target with the first nuke, if they can get it to load and if they can get it to fire. Because if that artillery comes in and kills it, that's gonna suck. But Team 1 doesn't even know about the nuke, so it doesn't even. They don't even know. That's gotta get that intel game going on. You gotta send out like 5 or 6 spy planes, or even 30 of them, or whatever. Just send something. Where is that artillery going? Where are you going? You going for this? I mean, that's not the worst thing to go after. It isn't shielded. You direct impact a quantum reactor T3. You would have killed that. You would have almost killed that mass fab. Now they kill the mass fab. So there goes some mass here for Team 2. But now Team 2 is pushing a little bit further with those crabs. Unfortunately, those Ravagers don't really have a nice line of sight against that target. So even though I think some of them should be in range. Yeah, some of them are in range. They just can't hit them. Very unfortunate. You needed more over here to the west side of the ridge. Some of that air grid is going down. And of course, the Monkey Lord did go down. Triads trying to do what they can to hold off this incoming threat of the crab. But it is not looking good, like I said, for Team 1. More artillery is being built on the eastern side. And all these Ravagers cannot fire. The the crab needs to crest the top of that plateau, and then they can hit it. Oh, just the land getting in the way for Team 2. Team 1. That has got to hurt. And that nuke should be loaded by now. It is loaded. You got to fire that sucker sooner rather than later, because taking out that entire western side will essentially shore up a lot of annoying defenses to deal with, and just focus fire directly on the central position. But the first crab has fallen. The second one is still online, just barely, and there is a Monkey Lord coming up as well. We have a lot of clink hammers being built here in the east to deal with this. They can shoot over that plateau and just nail this crab, especially when it doesn't move. And we have more Ravagers to the west, and that crab is still online, just barely trying to. Oh, there it goes. It's like it's trying to dodge, but I think that Percy got the shot. Yes, it did. It got the shot. I feel like that Monkey Lord is not feeling good as well. Sub half his hit points and dropping very quickly. There is a donut inbound, though. What is it going to go for is the question. It's going to go straight for the mass. And this donut is losing health shield very quickly. Now it's losing health very quickly. And how much will it kill? Is the SMD going to fall? It's going to miss the SMD because of inertia. Oh, but it kills it anyways. Oh, no. Team 1. That's got to hurt. That has got to hurt. How's the nuke situation going? You got to launch that soon. There it is. And we have Borg Moro sitting right next to it watching the glorious launch of an Aeon nuke. There it goes. It's actually a very big missile for Aeon. I feel like obviously the YOLO nuke is the biggest missile itself, but still. Couple PGens for that air grid are going down. That is going to hurt Team 1. Aeon says no, essentially. And should have had backup SMD. That has got to hurt. Should have known about the nuke as well, but that's a different matter. This nuke is going to land. It is going to hurt. Where is it going to land, essentially? It's going to land almost right on top of that Duke, right next to Chaos Noob. And kaboom! Takes out the Calm, takes out the Duke, takes out a lot of stuff. And now that is another kill for Team 2, and it's now a 2v3 in favor of Team 2 for the first time in this game, in terms of, leading the amount of comms left alive. Soul Ripper did move out of the base, but this was the bigger target. The Duke was able to take out most of the air grid, but this was the vital target, and it is perfectly fine. And that second nuke is loading pretty quickly now. And honestly, at this point, it might just be the beginning of the end, so I'm just going to speed it up just by a little bit, just to see and I'll slow it back down if any other craziness happens. Team 1 is still holding on, but GG Air, easy bait, says Soul Ripper. What was that about? Did they take out a... Oh, they didn't take it. Oh, maybe they took out the air. But it doesn't matter. Even if you have air control or even air dominance at this point, you don't have SMD. You don't have a lot of defenses on the ground for the most part. Team 2 has so much mass, they do not care. They're just chucking it at you. And, yeah, I mean, you've 368,000 and growing for the mass. Team 2 still has generated more mass in total, even with the reclaim for Team 1. That is a lot of mass. That is so much mass. And another Rascom is dying somewhere in the distance. I'm surprised, no satellites, no, we had one Duke. We didn't have any nukes for Team 1. We have an SMD loading as we speak. I don't think it's going to finish, though. No. If it launches immediately, it won't finish. If it doesn't launch immediately, it might have time. We have 4 monkeys and 1 crab running around down south. A lot of mass to scoop up. How much mass now? We were at about 200,000. We're about a little bit over what we had before, but essentially 200,000 mass still on the field here at 53 minutes in this game. Team 2 is just shoving that mass down Team 1's throat. They're saying you need your fiber, you need your everything. And the nuke actually goes to the east side. This one was just built, but that's got to hurt. This base will survive, I think, 1 nuke, maybe, if it launches on that base. But that nuke is crossing the battlefield here. Here it comes. I'm going to probably go back down to 0 speed so you can watch it on a normal speed. And here it comes. Kaboom. All of those Ravagers, all of that artillery, all of the everything is just gone. It no longer exists for Team 1. And at that point, I feel like, Team 2 has had it just with that nuke launch and landing successful. That donut was very annoying. It was barely out of range, and there goes the Control K here for Baller. He knew the game was over, and it is now a 3v1 in favor of Team 2. And we do have a Colossus now making an appearance here in this game. Kind of interesting to see that built very later. You would think with all the crabs and monkeys, you would have built at least 1 Colossus before this. But now we just have a bunch of spider-like creatures running around the map. Another monkey dies, but again, Team 2 doesn't care. Team 2 is just throw the mass at your opponent and see what sticks. And, well, they threw mass at their opponent and stuff stuck. So that just goes to show pretty close to the end at this point. Obviously, we can see the way this is going. It's been a very interesting game for sure. Team 2 didn't really build anything besides a nuke launcher. Team 1 didn't build anything except the Duke and wasn't online for very much. Now they're building a Scathos because why not? If you have the mass and you know you're going to win or might not win on this assault, might as well. All those engineering stations, those kennels are being wiped out by the AA. They get Control K. They're like, no veterancy for you. No. That's what Soul Ripper says. No. There come the monkeys cleansing the upper plateau section for Team 1. Soul Ripper's main base is still online. Surprisingly, he was the one that was the most under threat in the beginning and almost died, but barely made it out of range. And there are just monkeys now just sitting along the edge of the map. And this is, again, not going well for Team 1 for obvious reasons. We have a bunch of Continentals being built. I wonder what he's going to do. He's going to put a comm on board and just kind of like fly around the map. That'd be interesting. Nice, interesting base here to the west with a couple of missile launchers. Very interesting. A bunch of Rascoms died, but lots of missile launchers. They're trying to go after the nuke, I would assume. And this volcano's diverting some of those missiles. But it was a good, interesting move. I didn't notice it till now, but it was a very interesting move. The crab is still alive. Less than 1,000 hit points left. Oh, that was very close for those Ravagers, but does not claim the kill. More missiles launching all the time. It was a good effort to go after that nuke launcher, but even if they got the new launcher, it wouldn't matter. You have all this mass here. You have the Scathos being built right here. Though at this point, maybe it would have lasted a couple more minutes, but once the Scathos came online, that was it. And the nuke has finished loading. Don't launch it right now. There is an SMD. Yep, and it is loaded. There's actually 2 of them loaded. But again, 58 minutes in this game, and it's not really going well for him. There goes some Rask. Oh, are the Rascals going to make it? Are they going to make it? Where is that transport going? It's freaking out, and the transport dies. Oh, no. There it goes. And there goes the comm. Okay, we'll slow it down and see what's going on with the comm. He's going, and he's going to run right into some ASFs. They're going to go straight for those transports. Trying to use decoy transports, but the comm dies. because the transport didn't drop him off in time. And there it is. Team 2 wins the game. Let me know down in the comments who you think is the MVP. I'll give my thoughts here in a second. Please like the video, comment down below what your favorite moment is, and again, hit that sub button if you did find this video or my videos in general very fun and entertaining. And in terms of MVPs, that's I feel like Kahuna Tuna, I mean, most underrated player, even though he is the lowest rank, I think he did a very good job. You know, he built the nuke, he built the donut that essentially solidified the win for his team. Orb was, of course, very solid. Pushed Team 1 constantly, shoved a bunch of mass down their throat, which we can argue, you know, whether or not that was a good idea or not. But because the mass was constantly going in and stuff was constantly dying, it did kind of make a difference after a while. But I feel like MUP or MUP goes to Kahuna Tuna as a 919. Definitely deserves, I think, at least another 100 points in rating. Again, with the Czar crash. Definitely got a little bit lucky with it. It looked like it was going to miss, but it just barely crested the, you know, I guess the hitbox for that crash. And, of course, the nuke came in, killed off most of that base, and solidified the win for Team 2. Again, let me know down in the comments if you think I'm right or wrong about that. And, again, thank you so much for watching to the end of the video, and I will see all of you in the next one.